Good morning, this is Dave Wellendorf from makeRez, and today we're going to talk about all the 6 areas that comprise the main work areas for makeRez. The first one, which you log into when you come to the website, is the dashboard area, and that's a high-level overview of what's going on with the system. The areas in orange are simply jump points to go to help information about the various topics that are there, and also give you the ability to go to specific functions in makeRez, such as going to the database backup area here or to the email backup area here. Now I'll point out we're going to have a little bit more detail on all 6 of these functions in subsequent videos, so this is going to be a very short high-level overview of each area. In the middle of the dashboard is operating information. Got a 5-month window looking at your occupancy, both for the individual rooms and then rolling up to the property itself. And here we are in October. We can see that October is very good. We got a 93% occupancy rate at Riverdance. November and December, since there's still works in progress, we're still receiving reservations, don't look quite as good yet, but we can compare them against historical information to kind of assess whether we have an issue we need to address. Same thing for revenue, a 5-month window. We're sitting here in October looking at the revenue statistics. Next, we're going to take a look at the new inquiries. These are people that have come in either through the website or sending in an email and making inquiries, and they have not yet reserved, but they're looking for additional information, and the dashboard having them here basically says, hey, it's time to take a look at those folks. And you can notice the background for this one turns white. That's an indication that if I click on it, I'll bring up the full information for that particular potential guest. Later on in the dashboard, we've got information about the new reservations, and in a similar fashion, the background turns white, and I can click on it to get more information about this particular new reservation. I may have to follow up from them. Then at the very end is the information area. Here is the auto actions. These are things that makeRez is doing automatically for you in the background that you don't have to do yourself. Last but not least in the dashboard is the home away check, and this is for folks that also have a listing under the home away website, and they've got a calendar there. This allows you to basically try and keep the makeRez calendar and the home away calendar synchronized. If we go up to the next tab, that's guest information. Here we for a new guest and also to review for an existing guest, we'll collect the various demographics that determine the guest. The first tab, we can see contact information, phone information, booking information, etc. The first tab is your contact information. We can see all the common ones. I'll point out that the notes field is kind of a generic area that you can put a variety of things in, such as customer wants a massage, or I need to collect a second payment on April 1st. In there, and the system will say that for you so you can review it at a later point in time. If I click on the phone information, we'll see the customer's cell number, also the carrier that they might be using. The booking information allows you to put in the specifics about the booking, whether they have pets, how many people, adults, kids, etc. Allow you to specify what property they're interested in. So that's how you can enter real briefly new information. If I've got an existing guest, say number 282, I'll type that into the Get Guest box, select Get Guest, and it's one of our favorite clients, Kyle Wellendorf, my son. And here we can see again his demographic information. In addition, we can see some of the workflow information that is associated with Kyle, and we'll again step into these more when we have a fuller tour of the guest page. Next, we're going to take a quick overview of the calendar page. This is the calendar. It's laid out a linear form, day 1 through day 31 on the calendar. We've got the various rooms, Treetops, River Rocks Master, all part of the Riverdance property. Then Cottage is a separate vacation rental that we have managed. The calendar days that have a dash in them are currently available, and you see that this is again a very good month in October for us at Riverdance. The numbers represent the number of people in the suites. The orange represents the turnover days for the suite. The controls up on top, if we click the right hand arrow one time, we'll go to November. Click it a second time, go to December. Click the back arrow, coming back to November. So with that, you can get an overview of what your calendar looks like, and if somebody is asking for a reservation on a certain date, you can look at the calendar and assess whether or not you have that opening. Next, we're going to go to the search page. It's important to be able to find out information about people, and for example, you may know that there's a customer out there whose name contains W-E-L-L. That's indeed our son, Kyle Wellendorf. I'm going to click that checkbox on to indicate that that's something we're looking for. I'm going to check the contact date off. That's not part of the search I'm currently doing, so we're going to do a quick search for people whose name begins with W-E-L-L. I'm going to do a search for guests. It reminds me I got to select the property. Again, I'm going to do it for Riverdance, our bed and breakfast. Again, do a search for guests. And there's a whole bunch of people with W-E-L-L in the name. Again, Kyle Wellendorf figures fairly prominently, but we've also got a Howell and a Harwell with a W-E-L-L fragment. So searching can be done in a variety of ways, and again, we will delve into that a little bit more in a subsequent video. It's always important to understand the operating metrics of your property, so we're going to take a look at the report page next. Here's the report page, projected revenue. Again, I'm going to say, hey, let's just look at Riverdance, and I'm going to say, hey, for October 2014, the month we're currently in, let's get a revenue report. And there indeed is the revenue report, and it rolls it up and shows me that I have 64 nights rented out because I have some people in the master and many more in River Rock and Treetops. TT meaning Treetops, RR meaning River Rock, MS meaning master are the 3 rooms that we do rent. We've got a variety of information, and this is typically what I use to do my end of month calculations in terms of the revenue that we have generated. There's different types of reports. Again, we'll delve into those more when we take a look at the report page in particular. There's occupancy and revenue. We saw the 5-month statistics in the dashboard report. These are 12-month statistics comparing the current year against the previous year, so a little bit more intense information and a wider set of information. We've also got source, occasion, and special. Sources are where your people are coming from, such as a referral from HomeAway or bedandbreakfast.com or a returning guest. We'll look more about that later also. Zip code map. Those, again, are where people are plotted. The zip codes on a national map where people are coming from to your property. So a variety of reports that we'll delve into. And finally, the utilities area. The utilities area really speaks about customizing the database for you. If I go, for example, to the configuration tab, this is information about who to contact, what the name is of your properties, what their email is, whether you're allowing inquiries or reservations, things like that. So these are all the things you would tweak and adjust to customize makeRez to operate more in the fashion that you operate your business on. We'll talk more about that later when we go through the tours of the individual pages.